Thank you. Welcome, everyone, to our October 9th, 2024 meeting. Would you please rise and join me in the pledge? Pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we do the pledge, before we do the roll call, I'd like to welcome our newest member, Michael Coughlin. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the welcome. So I'm Mike Coughlin. I'm very excited to be here joining you on the board and looking forward to helping you with the process of the overall well-being of Somers, especially with the zoning and building, and looking forward to learning a lot from the experience that's on the board and hopefully helping out as much as I can.
Welcome. Thank you. The important question is
To the jungle.
are you a Giant fan or a Jet fan?
Chairman needs to know.
I'm a tennis fan, and I like the Giants and Jets.
Okay, welcome. You can stay.
Okay.
Okay. Steve?
Chairman John Curry.
Here.
Michael Coughlin.
Here.
Vicky Gannon, not here. Jack Mattis.
Here.
Bruce Prince.
Here.
Anthony Sutton.
Here.
Christopher Zaberto.
Here.
Thank you. Welcome. Our first item on our agenda is the minutes from September 11th, 2024.
Make a motion that they be accepted as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Bruce, you okay? You hear us well?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay, thank you. First on our item on our agenda is a time extension for Granite Point. It's a request for the 29th 90-day time extension. I'm not going to go into all of it, but it's the resolution 2017-10, and the dates are from October 12th, 2024, up to and including January 10th, 2025, as per town law, section 276-7C, and town code section 150-13M. And for the record, the property is located on the east side of Route 118-202, adjacent to the Amawalk Reservoir, and it's located in the R40 zoning district. Any board member comments on that? I make a motion that we accept the, or Tim, did you want to say anything?
The site is now clean.
Okay, great. Good, good.
I'll make a motion that it be approved.
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And second is a time extension for the New York State Police Headquarters, the Somers Fire District 295 Route 100 subdivision, based on resolution number 2024-05 on town map 17.18-1-1.2. Just for some clarification on that.
Sure. The reason that the extension needs to be granted is that the subdivision can't be approved without filed without a willingness to serve letter from, in this case, Veolia for water and sewer service to the site. The town has requested those and is following up with Veolia to obtain those willingness to serve letters. We, in fact, have a meeting with them next week to discuss it. So that paperwork is underway and it's working its way through the process.
Great. Dave, you have anything you want? Any board member comments? Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to grant the 90-day time extension.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. The public hearings for Kennedy Catholic Prep. Steve, has the notices been submitted?
Yes, Chairman. The legal notice was published in the Somers Record on September 26, 2024. The adjoining property owners were notified via mail on September 25th, 2024, and the sign stating the date and location of the public hearing was posted on the site on September 24th, 2024.
Oh, for the record, it's the applicant is proposing a new 3,150-foot square field house adjacent to the sports field for exercise equipment to support the existing student population located in the center of the property in the southeast corner of the main athletic field. And for the record, the property is located at 554 Route 138, and it's in an R120 zoning district. We had a site walk there after our last meeting. I think everybody was pretty happy with what's going on. Yes, please.
Right. Thank you, Paul Checo, architect and applicant for the owner, Kennedy Catholic. Over the last month, we've been receiving comments from Woodward and Curran like to thank them for the coordination with our civil engineer. It's been a great process. They've been a pleasure to work with. And I think we've gotten it down to the last couple of minor comments to work through. And I know Shark has sent some responses, but again, we're kind of working through the finer details at this point.
Dave and Steve?
Paul, just if you could fill the board in, there was still an outstanding issue with the Bureau of Fire Prevention wanting to have an access to the proposed building. If you could just provide an update as to where you are with that, and when you have a feedback from the Bureau of Fire Prevention.
It's a public.
Oh, okay. Beyond what the chairman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Paul, I'm sorry, before you get to that, because we do have a new board member and this is a public hearing, if you could just provide a quick summary of what you're proposing at the
Absolutely.
site. Thank you.
But site, we have a 3,150 square foot footprint. It's an athletic center. It's meant to service the existing population of the school. It's for exercise equipment during, the sports seasons, mostly the autumn and the springtime. Obviously wrestling and basketball will train inside the existing gymnasium. The existing school has a very, very small weight room, and they're looking to expand it for cardio health and general health of the population. It's at the southeast corner of the existing playing field. There's a White House there, just down at the toe of the slope at the White House, at the bottom, at the base of the track.
Okay, thank you.
So the comment from the fire department or the fire Bureau of Fire Prevention was to provide an access road. So in accordance with NFPA, the 2020 New York State Fire Code, we're waiting for Sharka to finish up on her area map of the total disturbance. And we have two proposed locations, both comply. They're both 20-foot wide roads, 50-foot within an exit, 150 feet from any point on the first floor. Because they're less than 150 feet in length, we don't need a turnaround. But on the lower one, we had area to do a K-turn if the Fire Prevention Bureau would like something like that. So those are the two proposed access areaways. We were proposed to do them with a grass ring paver stabilized, which is a stabilized soil retaining mat, sort of a plastic paver that grows grass, so it is still permeable and be plowed and maintained both in the wintertime and cleared and the other seasons. Again, the intent really isn't to use this during the wintertime when there's heavy snow because kids have to walk there. But in the event they did, these areaways would be plowed. So
You'd have to plow them anyhow for insurance, I would think, right? So that a fire truck could get there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Putting them up. The other comments from the Bureau of Fire Prevention was to comply with the balance of the 2020 Fire Prevention Code. And with that, we have our mechanical engineer and electrical engineer, they provided smoke, heat detectors, fire alarm system, exit lighting, emergency lighting. That's all in the electrical plans.
Thank you.
From the engineering perspective, we did issue a comment letter and we've received some supplemental materials and had some coordination calls with the applicant's engineer as well to resolve the open questions. They were mostly cleaning up details, consistency between plans and reports, and asking a few technical questions just to confirm that the site plan and the stormwater management system was all consistent and nothing was missed on that. So I believe that the remainder of our comments have been addressed with material that is in my email inbox that we've not yet reviewed as of this afternoon. So we'll continue coordination with the applicant and make sure that the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, but we have no major outstanding comments at this time.
It is a public hearing. Is there anyone here from the public that wishes to speak tonight? How does the board feel about closing a public hearing?
Make a motion.
Okay with that.
Anybody want to,
So just, so if you close the public hearing, right? a clock starts ticking.
right?
So we're still waiting for this one particular issue with the Bureau of Fire Prevention and the applicant to come to some resolution with
Right.
respect to access. My suggestion would be is to adjourn the public hearing until next week, but you could direct, or next month, and then
Start staff to direct, right?
but have
Okay.
staff to, direct staff to prepare a resolution for next month.
I'm assuming that it'll be cleared up by then.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
Now, who actually makes the decision on, or they're both, or are there going to be two roads there?
no,
Fire department decide which one they want?
yeah, we would discuss this
Okay,
with the fire
okay.
department.
Is that agreeable with the board? We can direct staff to prepare a resolution, but we'll keep the public hearing open until next month.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay,
Yes.
I make a motion that we ask staff to prepare a conditional resolution pending obviously resolution of the last couple of engineering comments.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is Rights Court site plan. It's a change of use. The address is 339 Route 202. The applicant submitted a site plan application for a proposed change of use to convert two separate levels in building A-1 located at 339 Route 202 that were previously used as a martial arts training studio, and it's going to be converted into a proposed office use. The property is located, like I said, at 339 Route 202, and it's in the BHP district. This is very similar to what we did just around the corner and what we did actually for the billiard parlor.
That's correct.
Right. Evening.
Good evening. I'm William Basharat, representing the owner on this case. The building is right next door to the building department, actually, the first one. Had the martial arts, like you said, and occupying both the first and second level. And we have tenants for the to convert to offices, which was originally approved to be used as office space, and it's going back to the originally approved site plan conditions. And because it's in the BHP zone, it requires when there's a change of use to come to the planning board for an approval of that, and that's why we are here.
Mr. Chairman, yeah, as Mr. Basharat indicated, the property is located in the BHP. So there's also that, as Paul, we went through this with the yoga studio
Right.
application. They have to meet with the BHP technical committee, and then after that, there's the site plan application is forwarded to the landmarks, open space, the architectural
ARB.
board, ARB, and the town board. All have reviewed the application. None have objections to the proposed use.
Good.
So if there are any substantive comments, what you could do, similar to what you did for
Right.
with
Could we waive the public hearing?
waive the permit,
Right.
the site plan requirements, and waive the public hearing, and you could have a confirmatory resolution on the matter.
I'm assuming, Steve, you have no comments on something like this now. Board member comments? You remember what we did with the yoga studio right around the corner? Very similar.
And we're not changing any of the exterior?
No, the 100% of the work will take
It's nothing like that?
everything interior. The exterior remains 100% the same.
What about the requirements for parking?
The requirement parking, like I said, this is what was originally approved by the planning board as an office, and we are in compliance with the parking.
I make a motion that we waive the public hearing,
Second.
Second.
and I'll make an additional motion that we can have staff do. We need a resolution though, right?
Yeah, but you could approve the application with a confirmatory resolution. We'll prepare the resolution. You'll sign it when the resolution is.
My motion, what he just said.
I'll second your motion, he said.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All in
very-
favor? I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Now we say thank you very much. Have a nice evening. We'll go back and watch the Yankees.
Yes.
Oh, hey.
Oh, you're welcome back anytime.
It's in that motion.
You have anything to tell us, Bruce?
No, I'll give you advice in a second.
Hopefully this next issue is going to be, not this particular one, but this whole category will be something soon in the past. Yeah, it's new singular wireless It's a renewal of a special use permit at the Somers Commons Shopping Center, 80 Route 6. Applicant is applying for the renewal of their special use permit for its existing co-located wireless telecommunications antennas located at 80 Route 6, which is also the Somers Commons Shopping Center. And it was last renewed on a resolution on April 18th, 2019. Good evening.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the board. My name is Jessica Zalen. I am with the law firm of Cuddy and Fader. I'm here tonight appearing on behalf of the applicant, New Singular Wireless PCS LLC, also known as AT&T, in connection with their renewal application for their special use permit. I can answer any specific questions that the board has about the application or walk you through the submittal, whatever the board thinks would be most appropriate.
Are there, with this application, are there any changes to the current configuration of antennas?
There are no changes proposed at this time. The AT&T doesn't know of any proposed changes or other facilities that they're looking at in the town.
Got it.
This is just a request to renew the existing special.
I'm assuming this follows the same, has to be approved, I mean, by an engineer, comes and takes a look at it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
It does. Mr. Chairman, we have not had a chance to review this to confirm that the structural report and inspections are in place, but we will do so.
Okay. I personally, yes,
I liked your comment about the existing with no changes. I like that.
yeah.
Yeah, because that's important.
This happens
Easy
so much,
to
yeah.
Get slid past by or
Right.
snuck in there, so to speak.
Right.
This just seems like a very basic renewal, which I think is.
It is, yeah.
Yes, so the applicant submitted a copy of the drawings that were approved by this board back in 2019, the last modification request, as well as a recent July 30th, 2024 letter from a structural engineer, basically saying that the condition of the facility is safe and appropriate.
Well, I would, if the board agrees, I would vote to schedule a public hearing. And then if you want to have staff do a, excuse me, a draft resolution pending the outcome of a structural engineering report. That should be two, we're in it. Let's schedule a public hearing for the next meeting.
If that's your motion, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then we can instruct staff to prepare a draft resolution, obviously pending the outcome of the engineering report. Second on that?
I'll second that as well.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next month.
See you next week.
There's a baseball interference. Mets are winning 4-1 in the top of the seventh.
Okay, thank you.
Don't,
For the record,
don't worry, there's still time.
why are all those haters in here?
This could be the shortest term of somebody on this board. You
I
keep
know.
that up.
Meaning,
Yeah, Not even at this point.
I know. It's-
Next on our agenda is Lackner Wetland and Watercourse and Stormwater Management and Erosion and Sediment Control application. And the address is 11 Valley Drive. The applicant is proposing to construct an in-ground swimming pool, spa, and related site work within a wetland buffer area. Like I said, the property is 11 Valley Drive and it's in an R40 zoning. Good evening.
How are you? I'm John Petrosini. The engineer for the design of the project is on an Italian vacation, so I'm here to fill in tonight. I'm assuming you've all received the documents and had a chance to at least take a brief look. The applicant is looking to install a 25 by 42 roughly swimming pool on the existing property. Property's about 1.25 acres. There is a DEC classified wetland on the adjacent property. The location of the pool would fall within the 100-foot buffer of that wetland. We did look at alternate locations to put the pool on the site, but due to the setbacks and the location of the existing septic system, this really is the only viable location. The project would need a town wetland permit. We have already gone to the New York State DEC, and we have received a permit from them for construction within the buffer. And additionally, we would need a lot coverage variance for the project.
Dave and Steve?
This is an initial submittal, and so it's in our office for review. We appreciate that the applicant has gone to the DEC first and obtained required permits from them. Pursuant to the town's wetland codes, we do look for minimization and then some mitigation for work within the wetland buffer. And so our office will be reviewing for that and the additional stormwater management, which is in the application package we're working.
Okay.
With it.
Hey,
No, just,
Oh,
go ahead,
sorry.
Dave. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
no, it's okay. So I have a question. I did review the plans.
Okay.
And I see that there are proposed open flame fireballs. Did I read that correctly?
A fire pit, yes,
Fire pit?
yes.
And how do you intend to fuel that?
That I would have to get back to you on.
Okay.
I believe it's going to be propane, but I will verify.
And will each fire pit have its own tank, or will you?
No, there would be a
send-
common tank with a distribution line.
Okay. All right. Yep.
What
That's,
was mentioned about the spa? John, you mentioned it said spa.
Yes,
What is it?
a pool and a spa.
What constitutes the spa?
It's a hot tub.
Hot tub.
It,
Oh, okay.
it's actually set inside of the swimming pool.
It's in the parameter.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, it's a pretty cut and dry pool application, other than it being in the DEC wetland buffer. But I do raise the question about the
Propane tanks?
propane tanks and whether or not, and how that fits into town code, if it does at all, with open burning and things like that. My only recommendation would be to maybe forward the application to Bureau of Fire Prevention, for them to review it and just give an opinion on that. And if they don't have any issues with it, I wouldn't have any issues with it. That's the only thing. I haven't seen too much of that with the open flame.
The spa is probably heated by the propane also.
Probably if the pool is heated by propane, they're probably all heated.
Is that the plan?
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty elaborate propane setup.
That's what I gathered from the drawings. Yeah. That's the
so
only reason why I raised that question.
I think it's a good thing, a good question.
I mean, I'm not arguing with you at any point, but in the past, we've had other pools that have been heated, or maybe we didn't realize they were.
It's for me, it wasn't so much about the heating, but there are several fire pits
From
are
that one
around-
source. Okay.
Right, that are around the pool.
We can get you more information on that to make it clear what the intent is.
And the lines coming to, et cetera, et cetera.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
How big will the tank be? Will
Gotcha,
it be
right,
buried? Will it be
right.
above ground? I just think those are details
Yeah.
that would be good to have. That's all.
Does the board think this requires a site walk? Oh. Huh?
No.
I don't think so.
No,
but-
I don't. I'm glad you
Oh.
asked, but no. Sidewalk.
What's
Okay.
the infringement on the wetlands per buffer? How much does it go into it?
Our biggest encroachment is approximately 45 feet into the 100.
That's a lot.
The big pool.
But he'll have to do some remediation.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And in general, what we look for is applicants to add stormwater management practices for, say, roof leaders and things like that might not otherwise, especially in a residential development, be directed towards groundwater recharge and replenishment and appropriate, or rain gardens, site practices like that to mitigate the additional wetland buffer disturbance.
Well, we are currently proposing some rainwater collection and infiltration to accommodate the recharge. But once we receive your comments, we can certainly go through and see if there's additional measures that should be taken.
Thank you.
Is it too early to schedule a public hearing, board? What do you think?
No.
I mean, to me, it seems like answers to your question you should be able to have them for the next meeting.
I would hope.
Which
for 30
would
days.
would order which would answer any public concerns.
Yes.
If you have them, you would think the public would and answer, and there would be some stormwater mitigation
Yep.
proposed by then too. All right. And I'll make a motion, we schedule a public hearing at our next meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Can I just ask a quick?
Yeah.
Is that a utility building that's going to be constructed there or?
For the pool equipment?
Yeah,
No, it is a slab, not a full enclosure.
okay. And that's probably where the propane source will be?
We'll verify with the propane company where they feel would be the best location,
Okay.
and we'll get that information to you.
So that'll be where the pump and the heater and all that stuff are?
Correct. Pump, filter, heater, the pool specific mechanical equipment.
Okay.
They can enclose that if they wanted, right? Without any, if it's on a slab?
That's a building question.
Okay,
Physically, we could.
right.
I'm assuming there would be additional permitting.
That's, yeah, that was how I was referring.
Mm.
But yeah, okay, I'm just curious.
Thank you. All right. See you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Next is a discussion of the Arnie preliminary subdivision application 10 K-Rail. How do you pronounce it, Tim?
Keyrail.
Key-Rail?
Hero.
Key-Rail Lane. It's a application for preliminary subdivision for the property located at 10 Key-Rail Lane, to subdivide the existing property, which would create 2 residential lots. The property is an R40 zoning district, and it will be Town Law 280-A is what he's requesting in his application, or her application, sorry.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Jamie Spillane of Hogan, Rossi and Liguori, and I'm here with Tim Allen of Bibbo Associates, and our clients are here as well. So as you stated, this is an application for a 2-lot subdivision in a residential zoning district. Currently, the lot has ample area to have over 40,000 square acre lots. The only issue that is going to present itself is that the property is on Keyrail Lane, which is what we refer to as a highway by use under the law, meaning that it has been treated as a town road for over 10 years and it's maintained by the town highway department. However, it is not shown as on the town's official highway map. And what that means is that we would need a variance from the town board before we could get any building permits for the lot. So we wanted to bring that to your attention right away. Other than that minor issue, because like I said, it has been treated as a town road for over 10 years. This is really a formality within the law that we have to address as far as the road is concerned. All other elements of the lot would meet all the subdivision requirements, the setback requirements, and the lot area requirements for 2 residential lots within the zoning district. So I have Tim with me if you have any questions on the specific lot, but really what we're here for tonight and to ask of you tonight is if you would give us a positive recommendation to the zoning board with the understanding that the zoning board would have to make a determination on the street issue before we can really move forward with your board.
Have you had a chance to look at this? Do you want to comment?
My light on. Michael Toot, Abrams Fensterman LLP, on behalf of counsel for the planning board. I did read into it earlier this week. I pending confirmation from the highway department. I put a call into them earlier today. It appears that it is a highway by use, in my opinion. Plain reading of section 189 of the highway law and section 280A. I didn't, just on that plain reading, get an idea that you needed to apply for the variance. You appear like pretty determined to apply for it, but I have to do some more research on the interplay between the two. I'm new to them. Again, I believe right now it's a town road. So I would say pending, again, confirmation from the highway department, a little bit of research on my behalf for the interplay between those 2 statutes, I would say refer them to the ZBA.
Did you,
Yeah,
The ZBA for the variance.
one thing we did note that, looking through the town code, the requirement of frontage doesn't necessarily has to be on a town road. It talks about frontage on a street line, as refers to. So in terms of town zoning, it doesn't necessarily have to be on a town road, although this board has traditionally looked at it that way. But in looking clearly, it doesn't really necessarily define it as a town road having frontage to meet the requirement. So I don't know how that plays into the whole state interpretation of 280A, but that was just of note. And one other note on this property is that this used to be two lots at one point in time. They were merged. So this used to be two lots back in the 1970s, I think they were. The lots were merged in the 70s, so it was two lots. Proposing to make it two lots again.
I apologize, I'm struggling with my button. So again, just plain reading 280A1A, in the event that it's not official street map, a map street. If it's a town highway, which my initial interpretation of 189 is by use is a town highway. Again, I'm not necessarily convinced you need the variance, but I'm going to look into it deeper. Again, I also talked to Dave Smith earlier. I think the town gave me some documents that seems like dedication was contemplated back in the 1958, discussed in the 70s. I've spoken with the assessor's office. I've spoken with the town. They don't have any, either a certificate of dedication and they don't have a deed of dedication. So possibly after this, once we confirm with highway, getting that street added to the street map is probably the easiest course of action. It puts it on the official street map. It precludes any later issue when the property's sold, questions of conforming uses, non-conforming uses, just to make sure that, the applicants here, once they proceed and subdivide this property, there's not a later issue 20, 30 years down the line. I'm going to look into that.
And we would be happy to agree with that interpretation. As you noted, our understanding has been continually maintained by the highway department. And of course, we'd be happy for it to be added to the official street list so that there isn't issues going forward. When our client purchased the property, the understanding from their title review was that it was a public road, so a town highway.
Question.
Are you looking for us tonight to recommend send you to the zoning board?
Well, I think if your council would like to look into that interpretation and we could avoid going to the zoning board.
Perfect.
Of course,
Okay.
for that.
Okay.
Question.
I have no problem doing that. I just didn't have an opportunity to get to it before I had to come to the meeting. So I intend to do that tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Get you a proper, memorandum stating my opinion.
Yes, Bruce.
Is the property, is that going to determine, that property determination with the road is going to end at the property or continue on? Because I think there's other houses on that road. Is that any concern of anybody's?
It's a good question.
It does go to a cul-de-sac, right?
There's a makeshift cul-de-sac at the end, right here. Here, actually, private property to the south. There's no intention, Bruce, of extending the road. There are common driveways beyond this property, but we'll be coming in right off the before the end of the road as it exists today.
Okay. Just looking. Okay,
Does that answer your question?
I think so.
Okay. Any other board member question? I mean,
it seems pretty clear that it's been a road that's been plowed by the town for more than 20 years,
Yeah.
right? For a long time. And I don't quite understand why you need it to be a town highway in order to to move forward.
So,
But, it seems like an easy answer, but I don't know.
yes. So, as Tim said, pursuant to the town code, we don't think that whether or not it's a town highway, as that term is defined, would necessarily mean that we couldn't go for subdivision approval. But pursuant to New York State town law, there's a provision say that you can't obtain a building permit on a plat unless it's on a town highway or a highway as that term is defined and shown on the official map or plan. And that's the issue I think that council and myself want to confirm, because of course we don't want any problem later on as your counsel.
Okay, thank you. Good.
okay.
I think you're going to have a problem. I think you're trying to prevent the problem of if there's ever a chance of resale of the property. You don't want that to be a hindrance to the selling of the property.
Okay. Just to make the board aware too, in 280A in subsection 2, the board has discretion to require that the applicants improve the road to bring it up to a certain standard too. So the road has been maintained, again, pending highway department confirmation for approximately 30 years. It's been paid multiple times. It appears to be a town highway. We
At the standard now.
on paper,
Yeah.
make it a proper paper street. That way, there's no additional requirements of the applicant, and it just cleans up the whole mess, and there are no property issues later on, again, in the event of sale.
I'm sure council, my office also represents a number of towns. Highways by use become issues
Yes.
at a point in time. Same thing with paper roads that are never built out become
Yeah.
issues sometimes. So this is really cleaning up a road that's been in, but has never been formally
Gotcha.
dedication as far as we're aware.
Okay. So
Even if, it-
member comments? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Sutton's got it.
You want to-
so even if this issue gets addressed, it's not gonna take it all the way into the cul-de-sac? It'll stop at some point before that? The road would actually only be accepted up to a certain point?
Well, the town has been maintaining the road through the cul-de-sac.
Right.
That was, if the town was accepting the road, the highway by use runs through the cul-de-sac. That would be our argument, and I'm sure that's
Yeah, but
likely to be what your council.
say it was on private property, the cul-de-sac?
The cul-de-sac actually comes out of the right of way. There's an existing right of way the road is on. And somewhere along the line, someone had built a cul-de-sac for a turnaround area that is on the property to the south. That will have to be looked at. I'm sure the town has been maintaining that as if it were part of the road.
Yeah. Yeah. You know where that is, right?
Mhm.
At Spikes, where Spike.
Right.
And if this was approved, the driveway would be before that point. Not looking to make it any further.
All right. I guess we'll
This
Wait
is
to
a
hear-
lawyer battle.
we'll get, yeah.
Got nothing to do. I mean,
Earn-
we have to do,
earn your
but it's
money.
got nothing to do.
Yes, it doesn't sound like much of a battle. I'm cheating. Town's position on-
All right, maybe battle was a extreme word.
It's good too.
Meant to utilize at times. but
Dave Smith and I have been going back and forth with maps, and it kind of like through subsequent subdivisions and development of this property kind of led to this mess. So it's good at least expense to everybody to try and resolve it now.
Fine. Great.
Clean it up, get it, it appears to be a street, we'll just make it a street.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My question would be, are there other like this that the highway should do
Probably.
and accept or dedicate as town roads?
Thank-
Don't know.
Yeah, let's not, yeah.
No, they don't need a vote.
And
Now it's kind of
last on our agenda is the
Yeah.
pending further.
calendar for 25. Everybody have a chance to look at it?
This is not the first.
Make a motion, then we accept the calendar as proposed from the planning office for 25?
There's two proposals, right?
Right. One is the backup calendar. I mean, it's been years since we've those are just, they keep those
That's the
dates open.
overflow date.
Yeah, in case we have a
Not here
really,
till 1 and
Fourth
1.
Wednesday.
right. Or some big issue that we may need 2 meetings. It's just to keep the room reserved for us.
I would say.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn. Our next meeting is November 13th, 2024. Good second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Thank you. Welcome.
All right, thank you.